Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Basement Monsters Game Day podcast on SportsZone Chicago. As you see, I have a little fun with the title because our next guest is a co-host. He's a co-host of mine on Halatek Call and also the Barely pregame show, not the Bearless pregame show. But we wanted to have a little fun this week because it was I don't know. It's something that came up and it sounded funny. I felt like it was funny and it's funny to me. No Bears today, but it is the Super Bowl, Chiefs Bucks, and right now we're going to go ahead and invite my co-host from Halatek Hall and the Barely pregame show, Michael Halatek, to the show. Mike, what's up, man? How are you? Happy Super Bowl.
I am alive. It's 3 below zero up in Monroe, Wisconsin, as of 2:00. But it is now, as I crack my first beer, it's officially pregame.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Trust me, we've been drinking for a while. Like there was a moment where I think we were in between our second segment. No, I think we just got done with our first segment, and I'm looking at Luke, and you could see like the anticipation growing within him. I mean, he's just like he starts moving around. Now he's like picking things up. He's eating, fidgety. He's ready to go. Bucks and Chiefs. Luke, I'm gonna let you go first with questions to Mike. I know you have some, especially regarding the offense.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be tough. I mean it's for both. Let's go both teams. You know, Tampa Bay's offense is you'd be surprised, but Tampa Bay has their offense to score more points per game throughout the season more than the Kansas City Chiefs. They did play the Chiefs close earlier in the year. The question today is how do you cover Kelsey and Tyreek for Tampa, and then vice versa, Kansas City with Godwin, Antonio Brown, and Mike Evans? What do you think the best scenarios would be for both of those defenses?
Wow, that's a great question. It's going to be a high-scoring game, so it's not stopping them; it's containing them as much as possible to take more time off the clock. I think that this is really going to come down to the fact that whoever has the ball last at the end of the fourth quarter has a shot to win the game.
I agree. And you know what? It's funny that we talk about that last drive. Mm-hmm. And too many times we've seen a last drive in a Super Bowl with Tom Brady being the orchestrator of said drive. Today's a game where I guess everybody, I think Nate Burleson was a guy that coined the phrase "the goat versus the kid," being as kid. You put it together with the goat. A younger goat, a baby goat, would be a kid, and Tom Brady being the goat. You know what I mean? Tom and Pat. Tom versus Pat is the theme today. That's been my theme all week. That's the vibe I'm getting from the entirety of the NFL world. Tom versus Pat. Who do you think is going to have the better game? If do they both have mediocre games, subpar games? How do you think they're going to fare today?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Again, I think both quarterbacks are going to rise to the occasion. That's why I'm anticipating more than 70 points being scored in today's game. Brady has been, we talked about this on Wednesday on the Hall show. 19 seasons in the league where he's played. He didn't play his rookie year, and he was injured for 1 year where he was gone after the first half of one game. So in 19 seasons, he is appearing in his 10th Super Bowl. That's just ungodly. Mm-hmm. 1 out of every 2 times he's played in the league, his team has gone to the Super Bowl. And he takes a team, basically learning as they go, and they had some rough spots early in the year, and all of a sudden they turned it on, and here we are. They're in the big game. Kansas City opened the season on Thursday night, and they're going to end the season on Super Bowl Sunday. And it doesn't happen that often where teams go back to back in the Super Bowl. So it's just going to be, the best part is I have no vested interest in this game. So I'm going to sit back, enjoy the game, hope for the best, and whatever happens, I hope that in the Rocket Mortgage Squares game, the numbers 8 and 3, 8 for Kansas City and 3 for Tampa, show up at least 2 or 3 times, so I might have a chance to win some money.
The interesting thing is that you said that Tom Brady was out for that one season when he got hurt, and Kansas City is the team that hurt Tom Brady.
That's true. That's true.
So that's another interesting tidbit.
That's a little weird, but that's right. It was I forgot who it was. I think it was.
It was a defensive tackle. Might have been Poe.
Terry Poe. He was knocked down.
Knee,
he knocked down. Then he lunged from the ground and went right into his knee. And that was the second rule, the second Tom Brady rule that the NFL implemented, protecting the quarterback. We all know the tuck rule, but that was the second one because Tom was out for a season, and the NFL can't have that. But all jokes aside, I feel like Tom has this chip on his shoulder, Mike. You know it. We've heard the story. We know what happened, how it ended in New England. It almost felt like it was mutual, but there was definitely some distaste with the breakup. How do you feel Tom, if he wins the Super Bowl? How do you think he approaches his offseason? Do you think he just says, all right, I made my point, and even though I know he said he could play till 50, do you think he really looks at it as like, I've made my point, no other quarterback has done this, let's hang it up? Or do you think he continues past this year?
If I were Tom Brady, if I were in his shoes, and I can walk away a champion, proving that it wasn't the system in New England, I'm calling it a day. He has nothing left to prove. I don't think he plays the game to prove anything. He's at the top of his game, so I'm kind of contradicting myself there. But deep down inside, I have this feeling that if Brady wins, that he's going to walk away, and I think he should. I think that's the way you go out. You go out on top. You don't linger for an extra couple of years. I think that if they win the game, that this would be Brady's last game in a football uniform.
So going against a guy like Brady, what do you think the biggest demon Patrick Mahomes has in his head, knowing that he's going up against the greatest ever? And, obviously trying to emulate him, and he's got time to do it. But what do you think the biggest thing in his head that he needs to overcome?
Playing in the shadow of greatness. He's playing against a legend. And what did they say? Something like when Brady first played his first game in the NFL, what Mahomes was like 3 years old or something. Yeah. Which is just absolutely crazy to go back and think about that. So Mahomes, the demons in his head is, I'm playing a legend. Can he come to this game in what is Tampa's home stadium and perform to the best of his ability? Quite frankly, I think he can. And I know that my dear friend Millie is watching, and she's already said that I better cheer for the Chiefs. We'll be going over our picks for the game right at the end of the pregame. So hang in there, Millie. You might be surprised. You might not.
Yeah. Before we get to that, we got a couple more things we want to talk to you about, Mike. So, and I want to get to it's a little sombering, some tragic news. A couple days ago, I believe, we heard of the accident with Andy Reid's son, car accident where alcohol may have been a factor, but there was young children involved, and young children were hurt and severely hurt and are actually being taken care of still now, and we hope that everybody makes a full recovery. But Speak on that, Mike, because right now, like the moment where me and Luke talked about the moment, how like for this to happen now. Andy Reid, I understand, and he's had these problems with his children before. He has to go ahead and still be accountable to an entire organization. Although this is still, although this is a problem in his personal life. Talk about how Andy Reid will try to overcome, what's like this tragedy that's happened in such a short period of time and so close to something so big for not only himself, but a litany of other people in the organization, around the league, around the country.
This is a tough one for Andy Reid. And Andy Reid has got to relieve his son of his duties, not just today, but when the season's over, he's going to be gone. There was no place for that at all. And correct me, I don't know. I'm assuming this happened in the Tampa Bay area. I haven't really been paying attention to it, but I did hear about it and I've read about it, and it's an, like you said, it's an absolute tragedy. But athletes get lambasted for doing something like this, and there's absolutely no rhyme nor reason for somebody to get behind the wheel when they've had too much to drink, especially when he was probably no more than a few miles away from their hotel. Period. Take a cab, take an Uber, take whatever. He could have paid somebody $100 to get him home. He could have had somebody pick him up.
There was another way.
There's always another way. And why in God's green earth was he outside of the hotel where they were staying in the first place? That's what really bothers me. There's no excuse for it. There's no punishment strong enough for it, other than the fact that this guy is this is probably a career ender for Reid's son.
And I couldn't agree with you more. I feel like this is you've done all you could. You've done all, like, if for Andy, you can't hold this on Andy. We're talking about a grown man. He made a decision as a grown man to do something idiotic, and the consequences are such, like, don't get me wrong, like, this is horrible. Like, there's a child's life is on the line right now as we speak. He has to go. It's tough. I know he has had issues before, but if you're Andy Reid, I think what would be better. What's better? You're gonna cover this up, or do you want to really address it and move on? You have to move beyond this. Like, he has to go. He has to be relieved of his duties. And I feel like, Andy Reid is in a tough position. I feel for him. I really do. I feel for Andy Reid right now.
He's already lost.
You've already lost one son. The other one, is done something that's detrimental to himself and to himself, your reputation, your family. Millie said it happened by Arrowhead, so it happened in Missouri.
It's before they went down.
So I feel like it's horrible thing. Hopefully those children pull through, and I honestly I wish Andy Reid the best. I really do. I don't think Andy Reid should be at fault for decisions made by his kids. But, moving on, Mike, the NFL had the award ceremony yesterday, and there was a bunch of awards that I felt like were just, and then there was one in particular that people around the country, around what we do, around the sports podcast world, kind of don't like, and that's the NFL Defensive Player of the Year award, which of course went to
Chase Young.
No, that's Rookie of the Year.
It's
Aaron Donald.
Oh, right.
I was thinking Aaron Rodgers because we're going to get to that one, but I was thinking Aaron Rodgers. But Aaron Donald. A lot of people think it should have been T.J. Watt. I think it's okay that it went to Aaron Donald, but I don't disagree that it should have went to T.J. Watt. Talk about the award ceremony, and also we had Justin Herbert, the Rookie of the Year and Offensive Rookie of the Year. Talk about the award ceremony last night. Do you feel anybody else got snubbed?
No, in fact, I think it went straight chalk. I think all the favorites that should have won did win.
Okay.
There was no doubt in my mind when I looked through all of these. Justin Herbert, and we've talked about Justin on our show on Wednesday nights. I think that he's going to be the elite quarterback from the 2020 draft without question. The kid out of Washington had a monster season. Aaron, you could maybe say it's a toss-up between Watt and Aaron Donald, but Aaron Donald deserved the award. And then you've got Derrick Henry as the it was nice to see Henry win one of the two awards, either the Offensive Player of the Year or MVP, because there was some question whether or not that he was as deserving. But Aaron Rodgers had an absolute special year. I hate to say it because he's in our division, but you got to give props to the guy for doing what he did. So ultimately, I think the awards all went to the right people.
I agree with you. I feel like TJ Watt it's a good argument. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a good argument. I just feel Aaron Donald he's just too dominant. He's probably the most dominant defensive tackle we're probably going to see for a long time, maybe ever. I think he's deserving of it, especially with that defense. He really is the straw that stirs the drink in that defense. And you saw it when he went out, when he got hurt. That was it. Mm-hmm. That was it. There was no control at the point of attack. There was no control in the middle. Aaron Donald is what makes that defense work. And if he's not out on the field, you see how the Rams struggled in the postseason. So I can agree with that. Walter Payton Man of the Year award, something that we, in Chicago, we pay attention to, something that is honored, to the highest extent in the league. And that honor was bestowed upon the Seattle Seahawks quarterback, Russell Wilson. Talk about that. I always look for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. I actually look for that ahead of some of the other awards, like who won that award and why, because it means so much. Talk about that Russell winning the Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
I've had the pleasure to watch Russell Wilson. He transferred to the University of Wisconsin for his senior year and brought some life back into that organization. Wisconsin has never been known as a passing offense. It's always they have some just absolute horses along the offensive line, and their running backs have been absolutely amazing. Jonathan Taylor had a great rookie year, his first year in the pros after coming out of Wisconsin. So I've had a chance to follow his career. He was drafted. He wasn't a first-round draft choice. He was either a second or third-round draft choice by Seattle, and I think it was Hasselbeck was signed as a free agent out of Green Bay into Seattle to be the starter. And Russell Wilson flat out beat him out for the starting job, and he's been entrenched there ever since. I have to tell you, I did not watch most of the awards show last night because I figured I'm going to be watching sports all day long today. So I
don't blame you.
I kind of gave it a break. But I tell you what, I was absolutely moved. I got emotional listening to his speech. I got a chance to see it live, and I tell you what, it brought me to tears. The guy truly believes in everything that he does on and off the field. He volunteered the first time he went to Seattle. He went to a hospital. Can I talk to the kids? Nobody even knew who he was. Yep. And he's been doing it ever since.
I had the chance to shake his hand and meet him. I was in the Navy, and we had the opportunity to get like a VIP tour, like a pass to training camp. So where everybody else was, and it's in Renton, their training facility, which is like maybe 45 minutes from Seattle, something like that. It's close by, but That year, his rookie year, with Matt Flynn coming in. And Matt Flynn, there was Matt Flynn jerseys because I was stationed in Bremerton, Washington, so near Seattle. So there was Matt Flynn jerseys everywhere. And I'm like, oh, all right, Matt Flynn, like he had a good year with the Packers. All right, we'll see what he does. But, and you obviously you know what happened and the rest is history. But that training camp, nobody, like you said, nobody knew Russell. I knew Russell because I like Wisconsin, obviously, right. And I believe they went to the Rose Bowl and won. But like, I knew who Russell was, and he came in. The guy's a little bit taller than I am, with just bare paws. And I mean, just like the like, not as far as length, but as with like his hands were the strongest hands I've ever shook. Like he was a nice guy. He approached me, and he'd approach everybody else. He wasn't as standoffish as some, and he was kind and he was courteous. And like you said, he believe like you believe he believes in what he's doing. So I don't think it could have went to a better person. Russell Wilson, congratulations. It was a good thing last night that he got it. I feel like the right choice was made. But before we got a little bit more to go, I know we're going to go overlap time a little bit. But Mike, before we go, give me your predictions for the game. I know we're cutting it, so we got about 6 minutes left. Give me your predictions for the game and your keys to the game for tonight.
Keys to the game, first and foremost, is the weather. They were expecting rain. They were expecting it to stop early. It looks as though it stopped very early, and we're going to have a great field. I don't know. I was watching them take the tarp off this morning, and that field absolutely looks amazing. So I don't think that will be much of a factor. Kansas City's offensive line is Tampa's rush. What did they sack Rodgers 5 times in the NFC Championship game? So that's going to be a big key to this game. If their offensive line can keep Tampa Bay's defensive line from getting Mahomes dirty. And then last but not least, I think, we talk about with the Bears, we talk about splash plays all the time. The Bears need splash plays. And there's going to be some big plays in this game. Some, 20, 30-yard pass plays, a couple of running games, running attempts that's going to hit a hole and they're going to break it. And I think whichever team has the most splash plays and staying away from turnovers is going to be the ultimate winner of the game.
I can agree. Who do you got? I know you don't have a dog in the fight, but who do you think face value? Who you think's gonna win? And I know we talked about coming down to the wire and last second drives. Who do you think gets the ball last?
Kansas City.
Yeah. Kansas
City's going to score a touchdown and win the game 38-33. I hope you're happy, Millie.
Well, she should be happy. She's got her wine and everything, so I'm thinking she's happy, and I'm sure she's happy with your pick as well, Mike. Mike, man, thank you.
It must be red wine.
Yeah. Mike, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. The Bearless pregame show. I tried to add a little flair to the intro. I hope you had a laugh.
I have to go back to YouTube and rewatch it because the feed crapped out on my computer.
Oh, okay. Do that because actually just watch at the end. I'll replay the intro. It's pretty fun. I thought it was pretty funny. Luke thought it was pretty funny, but
you did say you were going to do something special, and I was sitting here looking forward to it, and all of a sudden my screen went blank.
Oh no! Well, yeah, I'll play it right here at the end. But before we let you go, before we get out of here, let everybody know where they could find you and your work.
At Texter420 on Twitter, and you can find us at Halatek Hall on Twitter, as well as Facebook.com/Halatek Hall. And if I can plug our own show Wednesday night, we've got a great show coming up Wednesday. Jacob Infante is going to be joining us, and we're going to be talking about the Senior Bowl. Jacob was down in Alabama and saw all of the pregame, all of the drills. He was there for the entire game, and it'll be a lot of fun talking to Jacob Wednesday night. So just tune in 6:30 to 8 o'clock Central Time for the Halatek Hall Show.
Great, yeah, definitely tune in, man. I got a bunch of questions for Jacob because he was down in Mobile for the Senior Bowl. So he's been he has firsthand account of players to look at and what players we should attempt to go after in the draft. So I can't wait to see that. But anyway, Mike, thank you so much. We'll see you later. Have a good day. Bear down as always. But enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy a couple more beers. We'll talk to you.
Stay warm.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, that was Michael Halatek from the Halatek Hall Show, my co-host, and from the Halatek Hall Show and the Barely pregame show. Like I said, this is the Bareless pregame show, and we'll play that for him right now, right when we get to break. But you know what? Right before we get to break, don't forget, guys, we have a poll question at the ChicagoCrusader.com. It's a good. I think it's a quality question. I think it's a very quality question. Who gave the better Super Bowl halftime performance? Janet Jackson with Nipplegate, Michael Jackson. He had the standing ovation. I mean, Michael's just
it's king of pop.
It's Michael. But then you have Prince coming in with the Purple Rain, In the Rain, and then bringing up the back end. Beyonce turned the lights out, and my choice.
Oh yeah, my choice. Right there with you.
Our choice is obvious to us at least, and that'll be Prince and Purple Rain. But Nipplegate was awesome. I remember being a little kid and saying, "Ooh, that's a nip." Like, that's a nip. I remember that. Like, that was awesome. Thank you, Justin Timberlake and Janet. Michael, I was obviously too young for, but watching it on YouTube. It was iconic. Even watching it and not right. After the fact, you're like, oh, okay. I wasn't there, but I feel why he's great. I feel why he's great.
Right.
And Beyonce, I feel like Beyonce is there as he also ran. I feel like this is a 3-horse race, and it might even be just a 2-horse race.
Yeah.
In my opinion, but like I said, go to the ChicagoCrusader.com to go ahead and vote on the poll question. Who gave the better Super Bowl halftime performance? And you know what, guys? We're going to go ahead and get out of here with that. Man, we still got a bunch to come up. 15 minutes, guys. 15 minutes. We're going to have What's Up, Cuz? Jason Palmer and Lance C. Irvin on the show, and we're going to be talking about more Super Bowl, more Bucks, more Chiefs. We're going to actually talk about the poll question as well. So We'll be doing a whole hell of a lot, guys. We'll see you then. Like I said, stick with us. We'll be back at around 3:15 with What's Up, Cuz.
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.
I just heard my favorite band is in town. I'd love to get good seats, but everywhere I've looked, the ticket sites have crazy service fees.
Haven't you heard of TixSplits?
Who?
TixSplits. They don't gouge you with crazy fees. The price they advertise is the price you pay, plus a small delivery fee.
Never pay service fees again. Go to TixSplits.com today. TixSplits.com. Guaranteed seats, low prices. That's TixSplits.com. Every ticket, every venue, everywhere.